right, you've probably seen these amazing Half-Life 2 character images where they're basically put in real-world environments, and they've been floating around the internets. Here's one here, the guy's sitting on the bed, and there's Alex outdoors. So now we were really impressed, and we really wanted to know how it was done, and we're sure some of you wanted to as well. So we put some interns to the task, and they actually figured it out. It's possible. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but it is possible. And if you try it at home, you'll actually learn something in between breaking keyboards.
It looks hard.
It is hard.
And I'm very lazy.
Yeah, well, then this isn't the project for you. But if you're interested in learning about high dynamic range images, well, then there's nothing better than putting a Half-Life 2 character in your bedroom.
Let's make it happen.
All right, so first of all, you're going to need some interesting things here. This is a gazing ball. Are you familiar with the gazing balls?
I am not.
Okay,
but I do like to gaze at myself.
Well, gaze at this ball then. Take your time with it. It is shiny, it is reflective, and this you can find at like, you know, gardening stores, or even sometimes Target has them. I mean, they're basically designed for like soccer moms who have nothing better to spend their husband's money on.
Gardening stores, eh?
Exactly. They put it in the backyard. It's a gazing ball.
Okay.
It's to gaze in. And what you're going to use the gazing ball for is capturing the light around the scene, in a particular scene. So what you also need a digital SLR camera on a tripod here. And so you'll take 7 photos directly looking directly at the ball, and then 7 from the side. And what you're doing is you're capturing all the light information using different exposure settings.
So you're putting the ball basically exactly where you'd want the character that you're inserting into the photo.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because we're going to gather all that light info and then put it on the character.
Okay.
So the reason you take different exposure settings is because you can explain exposure to the folks at home.
Well, basically, you're trying to capture different like qualities of light that are going into the photo.
Correct. So you're going to have 7 different photos. Some are really bright, some are really dark, and we can see it here. And then you're going to load up a program called HDR Shop, and that's going to actually create an HDRI image.
And it stitched together all 14 images.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
7 from the front, 7 from the side. Again, here they all are merged, and we crop the ball around. You can see those are the 7 different exposure settings. Some are totally blown out, some are really dark, and that's just going to give you an average sample of all the light. So there's your finished HDR images, HDR like map image. Now, you're going to need another program, of course, to get the model into Max, which is 3D modeling software.
Yeah.
So you have to have Half-Life 2, and you're going to need the SDK, the software development kit.
And so that's something you're pulling out of Half-Life 2.
Yeah, you're digging inside of the actual, the WAD file. It's not WAD anymore. That's, that was Quake days, but or Doom days rather. You'll dig into the pack file, pull out the model, stick it into 3D Studio, and then what you'll do is you'll take that HDR, the HDR image that you created, and you'll wrap it around the character model.
Okay.
So what you're doing is essentially all that light data you've gathered. If there's a bright light, a bright red light, up in the corner, and a bright blue light down at the bottom, you're going to take that, wrap it on the model. So the Combine soldier that you're seeing here, his shoulder would be bright red, and his kneecap might be bright blue.
And so it seems like it was naturally in the photo to begin with, because the light that was already in that room is reflecting on it in the natural way that it would have.
Yes, and that's what makes especially 3D modeled or computer generated images look so realistic. It's authentic lighting. And what's cool about this is that you don't need to place any lights within 3D Studio, because it's pulling all that info from that HDRI map that you made. So we did it ourselves. Again, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but it can be done. So here's 2 images that we've created. Here's me and the Combine soldier hanging out, and you know it works because there's a lot of red in our studio, and you can see the red reflecting in his vest and the blue on his leg. This was us getting busted outside. I don't know if you want to tell the folks at home what that was for.
That was a rough afternoon.
It was. It was. The stun stick especially was a little brutal.
But you know what? After a little while, I really started to get into it.
Not me. I didn't find that I got into it, but if that was...
We just got different fetishes. I guess.
Understandable. Understandable. I'm glad the battery pack wore out on it. Let's just say that. You can get a free trial of 3D Studio Max, and all the other tools are pretty much free. So give it a try. It's worth doing. Head on over to our show notes. We've got a detailed article that explains how to do this for yourself, along with links to all the apps. So again, you can be making these images by the end of tonight if you want. All the info's there.